Next, I want to talk about is Miami versus Kansas City. And now, biggest question here, obviously, who wins, right? Biggest question here is this kind of, I hate to say it, is this kind of like the battle of like the fraud teams? Because both these teams have good winning records, but are they really a threat to anybody outside of just themselves who they're going to be playing against? So who wins the game, and are we really worried about whoever comes out of it?
With the Super Bowl being played where it is this year, a warm weather climate, if Miami could get there, I think you're a little worried about them. But the thing about it is, I think it's supposed to be like 0 degrees or 10 degrees or 12 degrees in Kansas City this week. This isn't even going to be close. I promise you this won't be close. I love Mike McDaniel. The 49ers have connections all over the league right now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Gives me plenty to root for, even when I'm not rooting for my own team. I love Mike McDaniel. I want him to succeed every week, except for at my team's expense. They're not going into Kansas City and winning. It's going to be cold. And Miami, in the history of that franchise, has never won when it was cold. That's why the game last week was so damn important, because they wanted home field advantage. They didn't win the game. They don't win home field advantage. They don't win a playoff game. As far as Kansas City going forward, they don't have the team this year. They're snake bitten by these drops, and that's okay. We watched Tom Brady and the Patriots be one of the greatest dynasties in football over the course of, it felt like 163 years, and they had years where they lost in the divisional games. You don't go to the Super Bowl every year. It just is what it is. Not the year for the Chiefs. They need to retool in a big way on the offensive side this offseason, and they'll be back and winning 12 to 15 games next year, but not this year.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that this isn't Kansas City year, but it's not going to be in the divisional. It's going to be this weekend. They're losing. They're not winning against Miami. Because here's the thing. Yes, we think of Miami as this high-octane passing offense. Absolutely. But guess what? Kansas City defense is 18th in rushing defense. But guess what? Miami's, their offense is 6th in rushing yards, 3rd in rushing touchdowns, and 10th in expected points contributed by the rushing offense alone. Yes, we do think of them as obviously high octane, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua with the big arm, Devon A-Chain catching out the backfield, got a lot of speed going around, right? But they are still built for this type of weather because of their running game. I think they have a legitimate chance to win. If you look at and you go down the line, I think that Kansas City does have the better defense. I think this year, I love Patrick Mahomes. I think Tua is the better quarterback this year. Miami has the better rushing attack. Miami has better pass catchers. And Kansas City, they have the narrowly better offensive line. That's just because of injuries to Miami's offensive line. And yes, obviously the cold weather plays a factor. If this is last year's Miami team, they lose handedly. But this year's Miami team, with the rushing attack that they have, with the running backs and how well they're running the ball, I think they have a legitimate chance to actually win this game. So I'm going to disagree with you. I think Miami's going to go ahead and take the win, and they're going to go ahead and trot out next week against whoever's going to win the next game we're going to go ahead and talk about.
Can you get I need one quick break. I got to go over here. I got to turn the AC on because you're cooking me with these hot takes right now. My goodness. Starting the podcast off with some heaters.
Hell yeah, man.
Miami to take down the Chiefs in Arrowhead.